I did a post on parents who choose their partners over their children. Now I want to talk a little bit about the partners that they choose over their children. Hi, my name is Dr. Natalie Jones. I'm a licensed therapist. Happy Tuesday. This commenter says the level of lying and smear tactics my mother ran before I went no contact is what I would call sociopathic. She destroyed budding relationships, old ones, family members became hostile towards me for no reason from my end, all to protect her convicted child molester husband. So thank you so much for your comment, and my apologies for what you experienced. But I wanted to use your comment specifically because your comment speaks to what I think a lot of people experience when their parents choose their partners over their children. Um, a lot of times a person, not that anybody could ever outshine or should ever outshine your children, but when parents are selecting their partners are typically low caliber. People that they're picking over their children. They are predatory. They may be molesters. They may not work or contribute to the home. If you guys, I did several posts about, how I didn't believe that parents should force their children to pay them rent. Honestly, I don't think children should have to pay for anything, but that's a different post. But and part of that series I did was when parents make their children, they have higher expectations for their children to pay rent and bills than they do for their partners. And there were a number of people that went on that post and said, yeah, I'll make my children pay bills. My partner doesn't work. All this and that, and the other, and I need it. We're in this type of relationship. And so my children need to make up the difference. This is a common phenomenon that happens when, parents choose partners that are lackluster. They know who they're getting, and they're willing to sacrifice their children for who they get, but they already know that their partner has a criminal record, can't work, won't work, just is a cheater, or, has all of these different characteristics that are not good. And here's the thing. Here's the thing. You already know a partner's trash when a partner allows you to choose them over your children. Anybody that you marry should want to, one, uh, be ready to accept you and everything that comes with you, the whole package. So if you got kids, all that there, or if you're booed up and they're your boyfriend, they should accept that you come with children and all that comes with that. It doesn't matter what type of children you have. If you have disabled children, if you have children that are dependent on you somehow or that need caregiving, whatever, or little kids, all of that, they need to understand that. So it's a red flag when someone comes in your life and says, I don't fool with kids, or I don't want to fool with your kids, right? And that should be a sign right there. Hey, I don't need to even entertain this person or this relationship anymore, right? If they come in and they say that, or, they'll come in, but it's astounding to me how many parents will marry someone who does not like their children, will not speak to their children, will cuss their children out, will put their hands on their children in an abusive way, will molest their children, all of that kind of stuff. And so those people are not safe to be around your children, and they're not interested in being the daddy that you have in your fantasy. Because I do think a lot of times, or the mommy, a lot of times people who pick these partners can live in fantasy land and hope that, whatever, or they don't care, right? They're very self-serving. They don't care. But I think the other red flag is, with a partner who chooses you, knowing you have children and your children are very disposable to you, your children are very easy to discard. or you don't care where they go, who's watching them, or what happens to them. You're quick to cuss them out. You're quick to put your hands on them. You're quick to, do all these other things. And this is this is light work, what I'm talking about, because it can get real ugly, in terms of family dynamics, where it could just, people can be brutal to their kids, but it should be a red flag to any man, woman, or person that's coming in to be in a relationship with somebody, and they're quick to throw their kids to the side for you. A good example of this might be someone like Susan Smith. Susan Smith is, famous case. I think she was in Charleston, South Carolina. But Susan Smith had kids. The men she's dealing with, hey, I don't want to deal with women with kids. I'm not going to marry you because you've got kids. She says, all right, I'm going to take care of that problem. And, took out her kids, as opposed to saying, you know what, I don't need to entertain men who don't like kids or who don't want women with children, because this is a package deal. And believe it or not, this is very common, even in dating now. When I see people that are out dating now, there are people, Pop the Balloon or on other shows or even just on dating apps that are saying, I don't want people with children, or I don't want people that have families. And you're entertaining talking to someone knowing that they said that right out front in their bio, and you have a troop of kids. You have one kids, two kids, three kids, four, maybe even more than that. You have no business doing that. If that person is saying, I don't want kids, I'm not interested in kids, I'm not interested in a family, what are you doing? But there are many people that would rather dispose of their children to get validation, get attention, get whatever, for 5 minutes, just so they can feel good. And they will lie about it, they will hide it, they will entertain and lead someone on who has very blatantly said, I don't want children, I don't like children, or I'm not interested in building a relationship, or I'm not interested in having children. So, a good example of someone who did this, on television, oh gosh, I forgot what show it was, but it was a show about wrestlers. And on the show was John Cena and his girlfriend at the time, Nikki. And John Cena sat her down, and John Cena was like, look, I've gotten out of this divorce. I've gone through all this stuff. I do not want children with you. And he was very, very cut and dry and direct. He's like, I'll have fun with you, and we'll do this, but I'm not interested. I think he told her he wasn't interested in getting married or having children. And she thought, and many of us are guilty of us doing this, especially when we're younger, because she was a young girl too. But she thought, if I hang in there, if I do this, that, and the other thing, then John will see, that I'm the woman to be, and he will change his mind. John Cena did not change his mind, and that relationship ended. And I forgot the reasons why it ended, but she was more or less upset, that he didn't change his mind, from what I recall of that show. But people need to also know, if you have something and you want something, if you have children, if you want children and people don't want that, you're misaligned, and that is okay. There's many people out there who do want children, or who don't mind if you have children, but instead of you trying to make it fit. So thank you so much for this post. But many times parents will choose people who are harmful to their children, for their self-serving needs, and yeah, it doesn't end well. Thanks so much.